everyone, a very warm welcome to the class. This is me, Nikki Sinha, your history educator. Now, this class is basically for BPSC PRT, which is your primary classes from 1 to 5. Now, if you take a look at the syllabus, you will notice that you have to particularly focus on the national movement. Yes, you have your general studies, all right, and in general studies, you can be asked questions from ancient, medieval, and modern and world as well, okay? But particularly in the syllabus, which has been released by the state government, it says that we have to focus on the national movement. So, we will first focus on the national movement in details, and then we will also move on to ancient, medieval, modern as well, and world history as well. ठीक है, लेकिन पहले हमारा फोकस किस पे होगा? पहले जो हमारा फोकस है वो यानी कि हमारा फोकस जो है वो नेशनल हिस्ट्री पे होगा, यानी नेशनल मूवमेंट के ऊपर होगा. ठीक है, तो आज की जो हमारी क्लास है वो नेशनल मूवमेंट से ही हम शुरू कर रहे हैं. ऑलराइट, सो वी आर स्टार्टिंग विथ टुडेज लेक्चर फ्रॉम व्हाट. आज का जो मूवमेंट है उसको, आज का जो लेक्चर है वो हम शुरू कर रहे हैं नेशनल मूवमेंट से. तो अगर नेशनल मूवमेंट की हम टाइम पीरियड की बात करें, फिर टॉक अबाउट द टाइम पीरियड ऑफ द नेशनल मूवमेंट, इट इज जनरली कंसिडर्ड फ्रॉम 1857 टू 1947. ओके, सो 1857 से 1947 जो है ये हमारा टाइम पीरियड है फॉर द नेशनल मूवमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, राइट. तो इसके बीच के जो भी इवेंट्स हैं वो हम कवर करेंगे. ऑलराइट, सो आई एम श्योर आप सब जानते हैं कि 1857 में क्या हुआ था. 1857 वी फॉट अ फर्स्ट वॉर फॉर इंडिपेंडेंस, जिसको कि रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857 भी कहा जाता है, राइट. बट I prefer, मुझे पसंद है, I like to call it the first war of independence of 1857. ओके, तो आज का जो टॉपिक है वो यही है, हम इसी से शुरू करेंगे. We will start with this. Now, the first war of independence is known by different names. Yes, we call it the first war of independence, but for the Britishers, it was something known as the Sepoy Mutiny. All right. So, Sepoys का मतलब होता है सिपाही, ठीक है. So, the British Indian soldiers who were working in the British Indian Army, they were the ones who actually revolted. Now, before we begin with this chapter, we must know the difference between a mutiny and a revolt, right? Because this movement might have started as Sepoy Mutiny, but eventually it became the revolt of 1857, where common people were also participant of it, and eventually it became the first war of independence for us, all right? So let's start with understanding the difference between mutiny and revolt. So mutiny का मतलब क्या होता है? So mutiny means when a group of soldiers rebel against their commanding officer or against their authority. That is known as a mutiny. ठीक है? तो mutiny हम किसको बोलेंगे? When a group of soldiers all right, mutiny, sorry, a group of soldiers rebel against their commanding forces or their commanding officer, that is known as a mutiny. ठीक है, तो अब हम जानते हैं कि रिवोल्ट जो है वो क्या चीज है. ठीक है, what is revolt? Revolt basically means when common people revolt or when common people rebel against authority, this is generally the government, that is known as your revolt. Okay, so revolt kya hai? When common people rebel against the government. Okay, मैं शॉर्ट फॉर्म यूज कर रही हूं यहां पे. When common people rebel against the government, उसको हम रिवोल्ट कहते हैं. ठीक है, तो प्लीज याद रखिएगा कि the revolt of 1857 starts with being a mutiny, all right, converts into a revolt and is finally known as the first war of independence. And you know who called this the first war of independence? It was V.D. Savarkar. He called it the first war of independence. Yes. तो इसमें again हम different aspects जो है वो cover करेंगे. So let us see what all aspects are we covering. Okay. So the first aspect that we will be covering is the causes of the revolt. Why do you think people revolted? क्यों लोगों ने रिवोल्ट किया होगा? तो वो कॉजेज जो है ना वो हमें देखना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. तो पहले हम फोकस करेंगे कॉजेज के ऊपर. ठीक है, सो द फर्स्ट कॉज दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इज द सिचुएशन ऑफ द सीपॉयज प्री 1857. ठीक है, 1857 से पहले सिपाहियों की क्या पोजीशन थी, क्या हालात थे, वो समझना बहुत जरूरी है. बिकॉज एज आई टोल्ड यू दैट द रिवोल्ट एक्चुअली बिगिंस विद अ म्यूटिनी, which is when the sepoys have rebelled against the commanding officers. All right, so let us understand what happened with the sepoys. तो पहली चीज जो हम कवर कर रहे हैं, पहला कॉज जो हम कवर कर रहे हैं वो क्या है? sepoys pre 1857. What was the situation? क्या हो रहा है sepoys के साथ ऐसा that they will be forced into rebellion, कि वो उनके पास और कोई रास्ता नहीं बचेगा but to rebel. Okay, now understand that the Europeans or the Britishers do not want to give Indians any superior positions. All the superior positions have been reserved for Europeans. All right, also the salary is really low. सैलरी जो है हमारे सीपॉइज की वो बहुत ज्यादा कम है. ठीक है, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू द चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1793, ये एक एक्ट में स्टेटेड है. दिस वाज नॉट समथिंग दैट द ब्रिटिशर्स वर जस्ट डूइंग. नो, इट वाज अ लॉ फॉर देम. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1793, the Indian soldiers were not to go beyond सूबेदार. सूबेदार से ज्यादा की पोजीशन उनको मिल ही नहीं सकती थी. ठीक है, तो पहला रीजन क्या है? सो अकॉर्डिंग टू चार्टर एक्ट of 1793, Indian soldiers मैक्सिमम जो उनकी पोजीशन है वो क्या हो सकती है? मैक्सिमम जो उनकी पोजीशन है दैट कुड बी ऑफ द सूबेदार. ओके, ऑल द अदर पोजीशंस, द इंपॉर्टेंट पोजीशंस, कर्नल, लेफ्टिनेंट एक्सेट्रा, they have all been reserved for whom? They have all been reserved for the Europeans. Okay, salary was a constant issue. The salary which was given to these soldiers were very meager. बहुत कम सैलरी जो है इनको दी जाती थी. ठीक है, okay. Apart from this, there was a refusal from the government side to pay foreign service allowance. All right, government जो है उन्होंने foreign service allowance देने के लिए मना कर दिया. Fine, let me explain this. Refusal to pay foreign service allowance. What do you mean by this? See guys, when the Indian soldiers were sent off to fight in the foreign countries, so when you're sending them out, आप उनको बाहर भेज रहे हो लड़ने के लिए, so you have to give them some allowance apart from their salary. You have to give them some allowance so that they're able to survive there. वहां पे भी तो उनको उनका खर्चा होगा ना, खाने का, पीने का, रहने का, बहुत सारी चीजों का खर्चा हो सकता है, ठीक है. So for all those expenses, initially they were given foreign service allowances, all right. But later on, these foreign service allowances were also cancelled. तो उनको बाहर भेजा जरूर जा रहा है, ठीक है, बट उनसे क्या कहा जा रहा है कि आप अपनी सैलरी से खर्चा कीजिए, राइट. हाउ इज दिस पॉसिबल? कभी भी कोई भी कंपनी आपको बाहर भेजती है तो कंपनी एक्सपेंस पे बाहर भेजा जाता है. बट हियर द ब्रिटिशर्स आर सेइंग दैट वी विल सेंड यू आउटसाइड, but you have to do your own expenses. Okay, all right. Another thing which really angered the sepoys was something known as the General Service Enlistment Act. Okay, so what is the General Service Enlistment Act? All right, let me explain. So General Service Enlistment Act of 1856, all right. और ये किसने पास करवाया था? This was actually done by Dalhousie, all right. This stated that it was mandatory for Indian soldiers to serve overseas. Okay, क्या mandatory कर दिया है? Indian soldiers के लिए mandatory कर दिया है कि वो overseas उनको serve करना पड़ेगा. Now you have to understand that Indian soldiers were not really ready to cross the seas, क्योंकि उनके हमारे में एक बिलीफ है, ये हमारे में बिलीफ था कि अगर हम सीज को क्रॉस करेंगे then we are going to lose our caste, all right. So they generally did not want to do overseas services, but here the Britishers passed an act saying that you have to do overseas services. Okay, so overseas services have become mandatory. ये एक्ट्स इंपॉर्टेंट है तो इसको प्लीज याद रखिएगा, ठीक है. सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड हियर इज दैट ओवरसीज सर्विसेज हैव बिकम मैंडेटरी नाउ. ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस the Post Office Act was also passed. Okay, what is the second? What is one more act which has been passed? That is your Post Office Act. Now, all those soldiers who are working outside, who are working overseas, obviously they would want to send messages, or they would want to send letters to their children or to their family, right? For that, they would have to use a postal stamp, which would be a little costly, and especially if you are sending it overseas, it would be really costly. So initially, they were given that postal stamp, उनको वो free में मिलता था. But now, according to this act, okay, the Post Office Act, the postal stamp, fine, the postal stamp has also been removed in the sense कि जो postal stamp उनको पहले फ्री में मिलता था, अब उनको वो फ्री में नहीं मिलेगा, right? So what are you saying? What are the Britishers trying? The Britishers are forcing us to do foreign services, all right? At the same time, they are asking us to, pay for those foreign services with our salary, which is already very meager. At the same time, if I want to write letter to my family, for that also I have to pay, isn't it? So free postal services has also been abolished. All right. So free postal services have also been abolished. Okay. Now the Britishers passed a number of policies which actually hurt the religious sentiment of the people. Like for example, once in 1806, they wanted to replace the turban. जो सिख पगड़ी पहनते हैं, so Britishers ने कहा कि नहीं, अब सिख जो है वो पगड़ी नहीं पहनेंगे. They will wear this leather cockade, which is a kind of a cap, all right, which will basically talk about a uniform code, है ना, एक यूनिफॉर्म कोड होगा, एक यूनिफॉर्म जो है वो सबके लिए होगा, एवरीवन इज गोइंग टू लुक सिमिलर. सो दीज आर रिलीजियस थिंग्स फॉर अस, और ये हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं, राइट? दीज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस. सो हाउ इज इट दैट इट इज something this is not allowed, isn't it? मतलब आप हमारी रिलीजियस चीजें, पगड़ी एक सिख के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, आप उनसे ये चीज नहीं छीन सकते, राइट? सो ऑल ऑफ दीज हैव रियली dissatisfied the sepoys. Now remember, these are the sepoys who are fighting for the Britishers, जो ब्रिटिशर्स के लिए ही लड़ रहे हैं. अब वो खुद ही dissatisfied हो चुके, तो वो क्या ही लड़ेंगे, ठीक है? That's the first cause that we've taken a look at. Okay, now we will take a look at the political causes. Okay, the second thing we will take a look at is the political causes. चलिए, so अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं political causes की, so what kind of political causes are we talking about? Now, I'm sure that you have read history. जब आपने अपनी पढ़ाई की होगी, आपने हिस्ट्री पढ़ा होगा. You all know about the various kind of doctrines which they have come up with. Subsidiary, right? The doctrine of lapse and all the annexations that they have carried out, right? Be it in Mysore, be it in Bengal, be it in Madras, Awadh, कहीं झांसी, सतारा, नागपुर, कहीं पे भी जो भी annexations Britishers ने carry out किए हैं, and whatever treaties that they have signed, they have never fulfilled those treaties. उन्होंने कभी भी उन treaties को fulfill किया ही नहीं है, right? And in fact, they have forced our Indian princes, they forced our Indian, kings to sign these treaties, which was nothing but unfavorable to them, right? And always favorable to the Britishers. All right. So political causes में Dalhousie का doctrine of lapse आएगा, सबसे important. Just a second. So what do we have here? We have Dalhousie's doctrine of lapse. So what was the doctrine of lapse? I'm sure you know this, but फिर भी मैं एक छोटा सा explanation दे देती हूँ. So basically, adoption is something which has been a part of Indian culture for centuries. Okay, मतलब सदियों से हमारे कल्चर का पार्ट रहा है, ठीक है? So kings would do the same thing. Suppose they don't have their own son, so they would adopt a son so that their lineage could continue, that their rule could continue. But the Britishers, as in Lord Dalhousie, he passed a law stating that adoption is no longer recognized, and if a king or a queen have their own natural heir, then it is fine. But if they do not have their natural heir to the throne, then the kingdom will be annexed by the Britishers. Now, this is something which happened with Jhansi and Rani Lakshmi Bai, and she became the sworn enemy of the Britishers. Okay. Similarly, something like this happened with Nana Sahib as well. Nana Sahib was the adopted son of Peshwa Baji Rao, and he was not recognized as the Peshwa. और उनको जो pension नाना साहेब को मिलती थी, वही pension उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे भी मिलनी चाहिए after my father, but he was not given that pension. So that also, all of these things were really disaffecting the people of India against the Britishers. Okay. फिर आता है हमारा वेल्सली का subsidiary alliance. फिर क्या आता है? फिर आता है हमारा वेल्सली का सब्सिडरी अलायंस. ऑलराइट, आप जानते हैं सब्सिडरी अलायंस क्या चीज है. गाइज, अगर आपको इनमें से कोई चीज नहीं पता होगी ना, तो प्लीज मुझे बता दीजिएगा कि हमें मैम हमें नहीं पता सब्सिडी अलायंस क्या होती है, तो मैं जरूर एक्सप्लेन कर दूंगी। मैं ये अज्यूम करके चल रही हूं कि आपको इन चीजों के बारे में आइडिया है, ठीक है। अगर नहीं है तो प्लीज डू लेट मी नो, मुझे जरूर बताइएगा, ठीक है। ओके, सो सब्सिडरी अलायंस जो है वो अवध पे लागू किया गया था, फाइन। सो मैं एक बार जस्ट एक क्विक रिविजन दे ही देती हूँ सब्सिडरी अलायंस का। दिस वाज समथिंग व्हिच वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बाय लॉर्ड वेल्सली, ओके, एंड introduced in Awadh in 1856. Now, according to the subsidiary alliance, the army of Awadh's king is going to be disbanded. Fine. In that place, यानी कि उनकी आर्मी की जगह पे ब्रिटिश आर्मी जो है वहां पे स्टेशन की जाएगी. So a British army would be stationed there along with a British resident. Okay. Now the British resident is responsible for what? He is responsible for making sure that whatever treaties the kings enter into will be decided by the British resident himself. So he will be the one who will take decision regarding which trade to which kingdom उनको trade करना चाहिए, कौन से kingdom के साथ, किसके साथ treaty sign करनी है, किसके साथ नहीं करनी है. All that would be taken care by whom? All that would be taken care by the British resident. Okay, so British resident would be controlling the internal and external matters of the state. वो क्या control करेंगे? वो internal external matters जो है वो पूरा control करेंगे, ठीक है? That is one thing. Fine. Now, what is the other thing? Now, the British resident who has been stationed there and the British troops which has been stationed there, उसको maintain करने का खर्चा कौन देगा? उसको मेंटेन करने का जो खर्चा है वो राजा देगा, यानी कि जो अवध के राजा हैं वो देंगे. फाइन. द प्रॉब्लम विद दिस, द प्रॉब्लम विद सब्सिडरी अलायंस वाज नॉट द कंडीशंस ऑफ इट, ऑलराइट, बट द कंडीशंस इट क्रिएटेड. लेट मी एक्सप्लेन. सी, सब्सिडरी अलायंस के बेसिस पे आप एक किंगडम को एनेक्स नहीं कर सकते हो, लेकिन सब्सिडरी अलायंस जो क्रिएट करेगा उसकी बेसिस पे जरूर आप एनेक्सेशंस कर सकते हैं. सो कैसे? हाउ आर यू डूइंग दिस एनेक्सेशन? सो सी, बेसिकली अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर किसी राजा को लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन करनी है तो वो किसकी हेल्प लेगा? अपनी आर्मी की, अपनी पुलिस की, राइट? इजंट इट? सो नाउ he has disbanded his own army, all right? He has no police or the armed forces working for the king, okay? And do you think that the British armed forces would be interested in looking after the law and order? Absolutely not. Also, it was this army which helped the king in collecting taxes. And only if they are able to collect taxes, only if the king is able to collect taxes, will he be able to pay the maintenance for the British troops. ठीक है? तो अब again same चीज हो गई. Army has been disbanded, right? If the army has been disbanded, that means the king has no help in collecting any revenue. अगर राजा के पास कोई help नहीं है revenue collect करने के लिए, then what is going to happen? He will have no collection at all, and then he will not be able to pay the maintenance of the British troops. And then the Britishers will come in between saying कि आपका जो area है वो बहुत mismanaged है, बहुत maladministration है, so I'm going to annex it because I think you are not capable of controlling your kingdom. These were the things which the Britishers have done. So now I'm sure कि आप एक understanding जो है वो महसूस कर पा रहे होंगे कि why these principles, or why these alliances, or why these what do you call it, conditions जो भी थे वो सही नहीं थे हिंदुस्तान के लिए और हिंदुस्तान के राजाओं के लिए. चलिए, now annexation of Awadh, or whatever annexations they have caused, be it Jhansi, Awadh, Satara, Nagpur, whatever annexations they have done, this created a lot of suspicion in the minds of the Indian rulers. Okay. Also 1856 में एक बहुत बड़ी गलती कर दी अंग्रेजों ने. ठीक है. What did they do in 1856? They asked Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the last Mughal emperor, to vacate the Red Fort, okay, renounce their title, and to give up all the properties they had. Okay, so what was asked? Bahadur Shah was asked to vacate Red Fort, ठीक है, renounce titles and give up properties, ठीक है। तो उन्होंने क्या कहा कि आपको प्रॉपर्टीज जो है वो गिव अप करनी होगी। नाउ दिस वाज लाइक अ फाइनल नेल इन द कॉफिन ऑफ पॉलिटिकल कॉजेस। सी, the Mughal rule, even if it was nothing, it was considered as the sovereign representing India. ठीक है, लोग मुगल रूल के करीब थे, they respected the Mughal rule, and when the Mughals were asked to vacate the Red Fort, which is a symbol of their power, it has always been associated with the Mughals. How do you think Indians are going to feel? कैसा लगेगा उनको? बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगा, exactly यही हुआ, they were not happy. ठीक है, and the annexation which they have caused in Awadh. अवध का जो annexation था ना, वो सबसे important cause है, सबसे important political cause है. Why? Okay. Now, you know what? Bengal army. Awadh has been called as the cradle of the Bengal army. What do you mean by that? So basically, most of the sepoys in the Bengal army was actually coming from Awadh. जितने भी sepoys थे बंगाल आर्मी के, वो कहाँ से आ रहे थे? वो basically अवध से ही आ रहे थे, ठीक है? So understand that if whatever happens in Awadh, right, if it reaches the armed forces, do you think they will work for their masters? Absolutely not. Isn't it? Absolutely not. So most of the sepoys in the Bengal army were from Awadh. And when Awadh was annexed, the sepoys were the first ones to get very dissatisfied with the government. ठीक है? Now, so, so Bengal army was created by Awadh itself, all right? पहली चीज, दूसरी चीज, when Awadh was annexed, a number of taxation was charged from the people. The people did not get rid from the draconian system. In fact, they were thrown into a draconian system. Okay, and when the Nawab was exiled, obviously a lot of people who were working under him, they lost their jobs, right? But the Britishers made no attempts to make sure कि हाँ भाई इनकी जॉब्स जो हैं उसको सिक्योर किया जा सके, ठीक है? सो नो अटेम्प्ट्स लाइक दैट हैव बीन मेड. ओके, तो ये हो गई हमारी पॉलिटिकल कॉजेस. अब इसके बाद जो है हम क्या देखेंगे? आफ्टर दिस वी विल टेक अ लुक एट द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉजेस. ओके, सो हमने एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव और इकोनॉमिक कॉजेस को कंबाइन किया है. Okay, so let's take a look at the administrative and economic causes. Okay, now, so what kind of administrative and economic causes? See guys, all the revenue systems of the Britishers, Rayatwari, Mehelwari, permanent settlement, they have created nothing, but they have literally impoverished the peasants. ठीक है, कुछ नहीं किया, but जितने भी peasants हैं, उनको सिर्फ और सिर्फ और सिर्फ impoverish किया है. ठीक है, fine. And these impoverishments could be seen in 12 major and minor famines which has happened from 1770 to 1857. Okay, so what is the first thing we have to understand here? The first thing that we understand here is the revenue policies of the Britishers. Okay, ऑलराइट, सो गाइस रेवेन्यू पॉलिसीज के बारे में आप ऑलरेडी जानते हैं. You know about the Rayatwari, you know about Mehelwari, you know about the permanent settlement and how they have created only impoverishment. Okay, now this impoverishment can be seen in 12 major and minor famines between 1770 and 1857. ओके, सो ये जो फैमिन्स हैं, शॉर्टेज ऑफ क्रॉप्स क्यों होंगी? बिकॉज ऑफ द ब्रिटिश रेवेन्यू पॉलिसीज. ऑलराइट, ओके, नाउ apart from this, there was something else that was introduced, and that was known as the Sunset Law. So what is the Sunset Law? So basically it stated that you have to pay the revenue before the sunset of the stipulated or the decided date. मतलब जिस दिन पे डिसाइड किया गया है कि इस दिन रेवेन्यू आपको पे करनी है, उस दिन के खत्म होने से पहले, उस दिन के सूर्य अस्त से पहले आपको रेवेन्यू जो है वो पे कर देना है. ठीक है, सो व्हाट इज द सनसेट लॉ? पे रेवेन्यू बिफोर the sunset of the day reserved for revenue collection. ठीक है, तो जो दिन डिसाइड किया गया है, अगर आप उस दिन पे रेवेन्यू पे नहीं करेंगे, then what is going to happen? Your जमींदारी will be auctioned. ये परमानेंट सेटलमेंट का वन ऑफ द मेन फीचर्स है ना, कि आपकी जमींदारी जो है वो ऑक्शन कर दी जाएगी. ठीक है, नाउ यू ऑलरेडी नो दैट दे हैव लिमिटेड द पावर्स ऑफ द जमींदार्स एंड द तालुकदार्स. ऑलराइट, so what have they done? They have limited the power of the zamindars and the talukdars. ठीक है, fine. Okay, so ये क्या है? ये हमारी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव और इकोनॉमिक कॉजेस है. फाइन, अब देखो इकोनॉमिक कॉजेस में ना हमें एक और चीज जो है वो अंडरस्टैंड करने की जरूरत है, दैट द कंडीशन ऑफ द इंडियन मर्चेंट्स एंड द आर्टिजन्स वर लिटरली इन रूइंस. व्हाई? व्हाई डू यू थिंक द कंडीशंस ऑफ आर्टिजन्स एंड मर्चेंट्स वर इन रूइंस? क्योंकि ब्रिटिशर्स जो हैं, they have systematically destroyed our artisans. Okay, with all of these revenue policies, they have systematically destroyed our artisans. Fine, and most importantly, उनकी जो discriminatory mercantile policies है. What do you mean by this discriminatory mercantile policies? So, if we are to import something to Europe or to Britain per se, they would impose a lot of duties on it. ठीक है, मान लो कि हम कोई चीज एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं ब्रिटेन में, तो उसके ऊपर अच्छी खासी जो ड्यूटीज हैं वो लगा दी गई थी. फाइन, सो द प्रोडक्ट वुड बिकम रियली रियली एक्सपेंसिव एंड एज अ रिजल्ट नो वन वाज रियली वांटिंग टू बाय आवर प्रोडक्ट्स. बट व्हाटएवर दे वर प्रोड्यूसिंग, जो भी वो प्रोड्यूस कर रहे थे इंग्लैंड में, ठीक है, जब भी वो इंडिया आता था, so that would have no import duties at all. That means the product was cheaper, and as a result, people started buying more of foreign clothes and products as compared to the Indian made products. ठीक है, और जितना भी हमारा रॉ मटेरियल था उठा करके लेके चले जाते थे, because they were going through an industrialization phase where they needed raw material. Okay, and yes, we have to understand that corruption in the company was very very prevalent. All right, चलिए अब हम लास्ट एक कॉज है जो डिस्कस कर लेते हैं, which is your socio and religious cause. What is this social religious cause that we are talking about? Okay. Now, the Britishers, first of all, they introduced their own system of education, all right? And along with that, we have a number of reformers like Ram Mohan Roy, Dayanand Sagar, Vivekanand, okay, we have so many of them who basically wanted to reform the Indian society, ठीक है? जो हिंदुस्तान की society को reform करना चाहते थे, fine? So, a lot of people, particularly the orthodox section of our population, they saw it as the Britishers trying to interfere in our religious matters, all right. So, like for example, according to the Charter Act of 1813 and 33, it gave permission to the missionaries, all right, to set up Christian missionaries and to preach as well, okay. So, what happened? Charter Act of 1813 and 1833 allowed missionaries to preach and convert. That was one thing which was against the practices of Hinduism, and most importantly it went against India, क्योंकि इंडिया के लोग नहीं convert करना चाहते, they loved their religion, all right. Now, there was abolition of sati in 1829, Widow Remarriage Act of 1856. See guys, all of these things were good, ठीक है, ये अच्छी चीज है, लेकिन at that point of time, it felt as if the Britishers are trying to destroy the very social fabric that we have lived in for so long, है ना, जिसमें हम इतने साल तक रहे हैं, वही social fabric को destroy करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. Okay, then, all right. Then we also have the inheritance right, okay. There was something called the Religious Disabilities Act which was passed. So, what is this Religious Disabilities Act? This was in 1850, okay. So, it allowed, okay, anyone who is converted to Christianity to have rights in their father's property, okay. ओके, तो गाइस देखिए, पहले क्या होता था ना कि मान लो कोई कन्वर्ट करने की कोशिश करता है, कोई बच्चा, कोई भी, सो जनरली द फादर्स के पास ना जनरली एक कहते हैं तुरुप का एक का जिसको हम बोलते हैं, वो होता था कि इफ यू कन्वर्ट आई एम गोइंग टू डिसोन यू, कि मैं तुम्हें अपनी जायदाद से बेदखल कर दूं, ठीक है. बट नाउ अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिलीजियस डिसेबिलिटीज एक्ट, इवन इफ यू हैव कन्वर्टेड, योर फादर और योर मदर कुड नॉट डिसोन यू, और वो आपको आपकी जायदाद से बेदखल नहीं कर सकते हैं. यू विल हैव फुल राइट्स टू प्रॉपर्टी, okay, you will have full rights to property. So that was something which was like a final nail in the coffin, okay, for the people as far as social religious causes are concerned. So though ये सारी चीजें एक तरह से अच्छी थी, ठीक है, but while the Britishers were doing it was wrong, and it was seen as the Britishers trying to destroy the very social fabric that we have been used to for centuries, है ना, जिसके लिए हम कब से इस चीज को यूज करते आ रहे हैं, ठीक है. और फाइनली हमारा है एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इमीडिएट कॉज. What is the immediate cause of the revolt? So the immediate cause of the revolt was the introduction of Enfield P53 rifles. Okay, so all right. So it was believed कि जो rifles हैं उसकी जो cartridges होती थी ना, ठीक है, so you basically had to bite it off first, all right, then you have to put it in the gun and then only you could use it. So the cartridge, it was believed, was coated with the fat of cows and pigs. Okay, now cows आप जानते हैं कि हिंदूज के लिए sacred होती है, ठीक है, और pigs जो हैं वो मुसलमानों के लिए हराम होती है. They can't consume it. Okay, if they do, it was seen as something which was destroying their religion. And this was the final nail in the coffin. And after this, there was nothing which could stop the revolt. Okay, so it was coated with ऑलराइट. सो गाइस हमारा कॉजेस जो है वो खत्म हो चुका है. सो व्हाट आई वांट यू टू डू इज जस्ट क्विकली टेक दिस डाउन. ऑलराइट, मैं आपको 5 to 10 मिनट्स दे रही हूँ, फटाफट से इसको टेक डाउन कर लीजिए, देन वी विल कंटिन्यू विद द कोर्स. ओके, quickly take it down. Okay. Next slide. मीठी, थोड़ी मीठी, मीठी ज्यादा. Quickly take it down. Next slide. Take this down. ओके, आई एम श्योर वी डन। लास्ट है, इसको फटाफट से टिक डाउन कर लीजिए, फिर हम कोर्स की तरफ चलेंगे। ओके, ऑलराइट, ओके, ऑलराइट गाइस, आई एम श्योर वी डन विद दिस। ठीक है, तो ये थे हमारे कॉजेस। ओके, अब इसके बाद जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे वो है हमारा कोर्स ऑफ द रिवोल्ट। ओके, हाउ इट हैपेंड, कौन सी डेट पे कौन सी चीज हुई थी, वो हम एक बार डिस्कस करते हैं। ठीक है, दिस इज अ वेरी फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन। ऑलराइट, आई एम गोइंग टू गिव इट टू यू, आप प्लीज इसको लिख लीजिएगा बिकॉज ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, जनरली इससे क्वेश्चन आता है। All right. So the next thing that we will do is here is the course of revolt. Okay. चलिए, so start करते हैं। Course of revolt is very simple, बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ इसमें नहीं है। Okay, just something which is in chronological order. All right. So when did the first event take place? Okay. So the first event takes place on February 2nd, 1857, when the 19th Native Infantry of Burhampur, okay, sorry, Barhampur, okay. So Barhampur, they have refused to use the rifle. They have broken out in mutiny, but later on they were disbanded, okay. So the first event is when? 2nd Feb 1857. Okay, so Feb 2nd, 1857. What has happened here? 19th Native Infantry. 19th Native Infantry, what have they done? They have refused to use the rifle. And they had mutinied. And they were disbanded. Okay. This was the first event which has taken place, which is on February 2nd, 1857. Okay. Now, the next event will take place on 29th March 1857 when Mangal Pandey, a soldier from the 34th Infantry, will rise up in revolt. Okay. So, what is the next event? It is on 29th March 1857, Mangal Pandey, जो कि कौन से रेजिमेंट को बिलोंग करते थे? So he belonged to the 34th Infantry. Okay, so of 34th Native Infantry. So he has risen up in revolt. Okay, उन्होंने भी क्या किया था? उन्होंने भी बगावत कर दी थी. Fine. Okay. April 8, 1857. All right. Next event is April 8, 1857. Mangal Pandey has killed 2 British soldiers. All right. 2 British officials, not soldiers. Okay. So, Lieutenant General Baugh and Sergeant Major Hewson. Okay. So, April 8, 1857, Mangal Pandey killed Baugh and Lieutenant General, Sergeant Major So Sergeant Major Hewson को उन्होंने मार दिया था. Fine. So he was brought to trial and he was hanged. Okay. इनको यहाँ पे hang कर दिया गया था. So he was hanged on 8th April. So he was hanged on this day. Okay. And what was the crime that he has committed? He has basically killed Lieutenant Baugh and Sergeant Major Hewson. So he was hanged on this day, and the regiment, which is 34th Native Infantry, that was disbanded. Okay. So regiment was disbanded. All right. अब इसके बाद क्या है? After April 8, when is the next one? So next event is on 24th April. 85 soldiers of 3rd Bengal Infantry refused to perform drills. Okay. Next event कब है? 24th April. Soldiers of 3rd Native Infantry. Okay, कितने soldiers हैं? There were, sorry, इसमें यहाँ नीचे लिख देती हूँ. There were 85 soldiers, okay, of Native Infantry refused the drill. Okay, उन्होंने drill को refuse कर दिया, कहा कि नहीं, हम इसको perform नहीं करेंगे. ठीक है, fine. Okay, मैं अभी आगे बढ़ रही हूँ guys. I'm moving ahead. All right. So April 24th कुछ चीजें हो चुकी हैं. So what happened is when these 85 soldiers refused to do the drill with the Enfield rifles, they were put in prison for 10 years. First of all, they were court-martialed, as in they were, forbidden. They were resigned from their position. उनको उनकी position से हटा दिया गया. ठीक है. And then what happened? Then they were put in prison for 10 years. All right. तो उनको क्या किया गया? उनको 9th May को they were court-martialed and they were sentenced in prison for 10 years. So what is happening here? 9th May is the next event. So what is happening on 9th May? The 85 soldiers, they have been, sorry, they've been court-martialed and put in prison for 10 years. But अंग्रेज जो हैं वो इनको एक दिन के लिए भी सही से जेल में नहीं रख सके, because 10th May other soldiers marched to the jail and freed the prisoners. Okay, so 10th May sorry. All right. So they marched on to the same jail. All right. They attacked the Kurds, they attacked the Britishers, and then they freed those 85 soldiers. All right. Now, then on May 10th, 20th Native Infantry and 3rd Light Cavalry, they had started the revolt. Okay. So, what is happening? What more is happening on 10th May? All right, so we have two regiments, which is 20th Native Infantry and 3rd Light Cavalry. So, 20th Native Infantry and 3rd Light Cavalry started revolt. तो उन्होंने क्या करा? उन्होंने revolt को शुरू किया, fine. And on the same night, they had marched towards Delhi. Okay. Same night, they marched to Delhi. ठीक है. सेम नाइट पे क्या किया उन्होंने? सेम नाइट पे ये दिल्ली की तरफ कूच कर गए. फाइन. ओके. नाउ May 12th 1857 they had taken control of Delhi. 10th May को दिल्ली पहुंचे थे and May 12th they have taken control of Delhi. ओके. चलिए, इसके आगे भी है चीजें, तो वो हम करते हैं. सो ऑलराइट, अब इसके बाद जो है वो बेसिक चंक्स में जो रिवोल्ट हुआ है हम उसकी बात करेंगे. सो फ्रॉम 11th to 30th May, apart from Delhi, we have other places also that have risen up in revolt. Okay, so 11th to 30th May. Okay, who all have risen in revolt? So apart from Delhi, Bombay, Aligarh, Firozpur, Bulandshahr, Etawah. All right, so Bombay, Firozpur, Etawah. They have also risen up in revolt. All right. Okay, fine. चलिए. Okay. So 11 to 30th May, what has happened is, we have all of these places, apart from Delhi, we have all of these places which have risen up in revolt. What is happening in June 1857? So ये तो हो गई मई की बात. जून 1857 में क्या हुआ है? June 1857, we have the outbreak of revolt in Gwalior, Jhansi, Lucknow, Faizabad. Okay. Outbreak in Lucknow, Jhansi, Faizabad. Okay, what else? Which is the other place? Bharatpur, Allahabad. Okay, fine. This was when? This was in June 1857. Now from July to August, all right, places like Indore and few places in Punjab, they have also risen in revolt. So, so ये क्या कर रहा है? They have also risen up in revolt. ठीक है, fine. All right. Now, September, what has happened? Delhi was captured by the British East India Company. September. Okay. September 1857, Delhi has been captured. Captured by EIC लिख रही हूं मैं. EIC is the English East India Company. All right. So this was when? This was in September. Then what do we have? Then we have November 1857. Here, General Windham was defeated by the rebels outside Kanpur. Okay. So now what has happened? November 1857. Who has been defeated? So we have a person called General Windham. Okay. So General Windham defeated outside कानपुर. तो उनको कानपुर के बाहर जो है वो डिफीट कर दिया है. किसने? जो हमारे रिबेल सोल्जर्स हैं उन्होंने. ठीक है. So this is when? This is in November 1857. Now December 1857, what do we have? December 1857, we have the Battle of Kanpur, which was won by Colin Campbell. Okay. So December 1857, Battle of Kanpur, won by Colin Campbell. So who's Colin Campbell? Colin Campbell was the commander of the British forces. He was all commander, मतलब जितनी भी British forces हैं उसको command कर रहे थे कौन? He was the one who was commanding them. Okay. March 1857. Sorry. This is going to be, sorry, this is not going to be March 1857. Now this is going to be March 1858. Lucknow was recaptured. Okay. Just give me 1 second. All right, guys, just give me 1 second. Let me just check something. So what do we have now? So December is over, 1857 is over. Now we moved on to 1858. So March 1858, Lucknow was recaptured. Okay. इसके बाद क्या होगा? After March, we have April 1857. Now, Jhansi was recaptured, and obviously, we have the death of Rani Lakshmi Bai. So, this was when? This was in April 1858. All right. So, April 1858, Jhansi has been recaptured. May 1858, what is going to happen? Bareilly, Kalpi and Jagdishpuri. Okay. So, May 1858, Bareilly, Kalpi and Jagdishpuri. Okay. So, that also has been recaptured. And from July to December, gradually we have the Britishers taking over. They re-established themselves in India. Okay. So, this was from July to December. तो ये आपका मेन क्रोनोलॉजी है गाइस, ठीक है. ये कोर्स ऑफ द रिवोल्ट है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. You should know them. All right. So I've given you the entire course here with the dates, with what has happened, when it has happened. The dates are very important. So please remember them. Please take them down as it is, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया है, ताकि आपको dates और साथ साथ में जो locations हैं वो भी याद रहेंगी. ठीक है? Okay. Okay, quickly take this down. Then if we have time, we will move ahead. This is very important. Please take this down quickly. Take this down. दिस इज द लास्ट स्लाइड, क्विकली टेक इट डाउन। फिर अगर हमारे पास टाइम बचेगा तो हम एक बार लीडर्स ऑफ रिवोल्ट जो है वो डिस्कस कर लेंगे। इफ नॉट देन वी विल सी, मे बी वील कंटिन्यू टुमारो। Okay. So after this, so we've done with the course of the revolt, all right. We've done with the causes of the revolt, all right. और इसके बाद जो हमें करना है, so we will be dealing with okay. So after this, we will be dealing with leaders, all right, and then we will deal with centers of revolt, okay. इसके अलावा भी हमें काफ़ी कुछ जो है वो डील करना है, जैसे कि फेलियर ऑफ रिवोल्ट क्यों हुआ, what were the consequences of the revolt, right? And we also have to deal with the books which has been written particularly on the revolt of 1857, okay? So I think अब हम लोग next class में ही continue करते हैं, because leaders जो हैं that will require me to give you a detailed discussion, all right? क्योंकि leaders का काफ़ी अच्छा खासा discussion होगा, कौन थे, कैसे थे, क्यों थे, कौन कहाँ के leaders थे, तो वो सब हम discuss करेंगे, ठीक है? British leader को भी हम discuss करेंगे, we will discuss the revolt of leaders from the Indian side as well. So you should remember कि हर एक जगह से कौन लीडर था from the Indian side. At the same time, you must remember who were the leaders from the British side as well, as in who suppressed the revolt. Okay. So I think we'll continue this in the next class. All right. So I really hope guys कि आपको जो भी आज हमने पढ़ा वो बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आ गया, कहीं कोई डिफिकल्टी नहीं हुई है। जितने भी फैक्ट्स थे, जो भी मुझे लगता है कि आपके एग्जाम पर्सपेक्टिव से इंपॉर्टेंट है, जो मैंने क्वेश्चन पेपर देखा, सिलेबस देखा, उस हिसाब से whatever I think is important, I have given all of that to you. So I hope you have it with you all. इसको प्लीज टेक डाउन कर लीजिएगा, नोट्स जरूर बना लीजिएगा अपने, ताकि आपको कोई डिफिकल्टी नहीं हो। इफ यू हैव एनी फीडबैक दैट यू वांट टू गिव मी रिगार्डिंग माय टीचिंग स्टाइल, आपको लगता है कि मैम कुछ इसमें आप ऐसा ऐड कर दीजिए या इस तरह से पढ़ा दीजिए, ये कर दीजिए, तो आई विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी। मैं मुझे बहुत खुशी होगी उन सारे फीडबैक्स को देखने की और उन सारे फीडबैक्स को एडजस्ट भी करने की। आई हैव नो इश्यूज देयर, आई विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी। तो अगर आपके कोई भी फीडबैक है रिगार्डिंग हैंड राइटिंग, अगर हैंड राइटिंग समझने में दिक्कत है तो भी जरूर बताइएगा। अगेन यू नो रिगार्डिंग माय टीचिंग स्टाइल, आपको कुछ अलग सा चाहिए, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं वैसा चाहिए, whatever it is you can let me know. And most importantly, अगर आपको कुछ एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए मटेरियल वाइज, एनी एक्स्ट्रा नोट्स दैट यू नीड, कोई हैंड आउट चाहिए, कुछ भी चाहिए, तो वो आप मुझे जरूर बताएंगे, ठीक है? ऑलराइट, so thank you so much for joining me here guys. It was an absolute pleasure to have you all. I will now see you in the next lecture. Till then, please take care. Thank you. Bye bye.